The Japanese national team has had a lot of praise over the past year, ever since their heroic performance at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. But what is going on with them? Why have they become so good and they are getting so much praise in the media, and rightfully so? In today's video, we're going to be discussing the rise of the Japanese national team. Yo, what is going on, my YouTube people? 2099 back here with another video, and in today's video, like I said, we're going to be discovering and discussing on just why Japan is this good at the international level. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to smash that subscribe button, like the video as well. It helps the channel a ton. If you want to join all my socials, my Instagram, TikTok, Discord, Twitter, all those links will be down in the description for you guys to check out. And without further ado, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is, well, to start, it is important to know that this is not the first time that Japan has done well at a World Cup. I feel like, there's this misconception where people think that they've just recently been good, whereas they've always been a decent, squad in previous World Cups. I would say from maybe 2018 until now, you could have definitely seen the trajectory of Japanese football slowly progressing. They are getting better and better. In 2018, they got to a pretty respectable place, in that famous loss against Belgium, where Belgium came from behind to beat Japan. Had that result stayed in a positive way for Japan, we could have had a complete different debate nowadays. They were very, very, very close of reaching, that win, and, Belgium showed their class in that game, and, deservedly so. They came back and we saw their class. But I feel like since then, people have forgotten just how good the Japanese national team is. They narrowly missed out on the 2019 Asian Cup, where Qatar won it. It can happen. I'm someone that watches a lot of Asian football, Japanese football specifically. There are definitely some games where you watch that Japanese team and you're like, okay, well, this is not the Japanese team that played in the previous game even. They do have some of these little weird moments, and you did see that at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, where they played fantastically against Germany, fantastically against Spain, but against Costa Rica, they just weren't the same team at all. And again, it all comes back down to the manager, to the tactics, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But back to this whole misconception of them not being a good team, I think is completely ludicrous. I think they've always been a force, at least for a few years now, and that's something that you have to respect them for. Anyways, back to now the present time. They've just been steaming through these friendlies. They've just recently beat Germany again. They've beaten Turkey in a very respectable way. They're just steaming through these friendlies, just destroying their opponents. And it must be said that it all comes from the grassroots. Japanese football is doing well because they know what they are doing within the country. University football is prioritized. Even high school football is prioritized. A lot of these players come from these backgrounds. If you check even players like Kaoru Mitoma, a lot of these players come from these schools. That's their background. That's how they got into football. This is something I think that other countries in the world should also consider, because it works. It clearly works. A lot of players come from these backgrounds and they do well. They're then thrown into J-League clubs, or sometimes even in Europe at a very early age. They develop, and they become monsters. A lot of Japanese players now play in Europe. They are by far the most amount of Asian players in Europe. There's been a little debacle recently where I think there's maybe 2 or 3 squads of Japanese players that play in Europe. That's how many exports they've had. With that being said, the coach Moriyasu, like I've said, sometimes he does have these little weird moments where he's not himself, but for the most part, he's actually been pretty good. I've criticized him a lot in the past, notably in the Asian Cup, where I thought he should have done better against Qatar, but ever since he's been proving me wrong. And there's been, again, times where I'm like, is he really the right manager for Japan? Is he really that person who can bring out the best from this Japanese team? It's a very confusing situation. But like I said, they did well in 2022 at the FIFA World Cup. They had great results. It's remarkable. They were this close. They lost in a penalty shootout, and they didn't even deserve to lose against Croatia. They played really well. They were this close of making it further than what they did, and I think it's very unfortunate. They've got a lot of great players, a lot of great young players, a lot of talents. Ayase, Ueda, Takefusa Kubo, we've got all these guys. You guys know them. I don't even need to name them. You guys just know how good they are, and it seems that Japanese football is getting better and better and better. That's because they actually care about the football. They prioritize a lot of things that other countries, specifically in Asia, don't. And I think that's why they are so far ahead of all other Asian countries in football, at least for now. In this next upcoming AFC Asian Cup that is coming in a few months, I am absolutely certain Japan will win it. If they don't, it'll be some miracle. They are so far ahead of all the other Asian countries. It would actually be an embarrassment for them not to win, because they've been very good, like I said, so far ahead of all the other AFC countries. The only way I can see them lose is if, somehow they concede in a penalty shootout and such. It's definitely a team that I think is capable of going far. There's been a lot of debacle, a lot of debate on whether they can go ahead and win the World Cup. I think it's way too soon to talk about that, at least for now. But if they continue the way they do, they can definitely be contenders. The Japanese national team has done a lot and they deserve it. You put in the work, you get the results. It's as simple as that. This is things that teams like Iran, South Korea should take into consideration. But for now, the Japanese national team doing very well. This has been a great video to make. A lot of potential, a lot of promise, a lot of hope into this Japanese national team for the future. But as for now, this is where things stand now. I think they are the favorites to win the AFC Asian Cup. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And for now, I'll leave you at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next time. Peace.
Damn, I'm on red alert. Else you went up in the dirt, man. I don't want